Welcome back to Old School Sports and our Out of the Park Baseball 24 playthrough of the Buffalo Wings. We're about to begin the 2035 League Championship Series, and our 108-win Buffalo Wings look to be in a pretty good position as we try to defend our World Series championship. We are the only division winner left. We took out the Pirates 3-0, but the Rockies upset the NL West winning Cubs. The Mariners upset the AL East winning Yankees. And the Texas Rangers upset the AL West winning Las Vegas Athletics, who had 100 wins, were the second best team in baseball this year. So all three of the other divisional winners are gone as we prepare to face Colorado. Haven't changed anybody on our 26-man playoff roster, given that Colorado is a hitter's park. We did think about putting James Wood back onto the roster after his very weak regular season for us, but we decided to stick with the two young outfielders, Tim Gaglia and Tyreek Hardage, who are both better defensively, given that Colorado's got some pretty significant outfield territory to cover. In addition to being a home run park, it's also a park that generates a lot of doubles and triples. Hopefully having the guys with better range out there in the outfield will help us. We've also made one minor tweak to our pitching staff. We're going to pitch our number 2 starter, or as we like to call him, 1B, Sincere Shazier, in Game 1, rather than our number 1 starter, 1A, Alexis Barajas. The reason being that whoever pitches Game 1 will potentially come back and pitch in a Game 5 if necessary in Colorado. And our thought is that Sincere Shazier, with his extreme ground ball tendencies, throws in the high 90s and 70 movement on his pitches, is a little less likely to give up a big home run than Barajas, whose movement is a bit above average, doesn't have the same ground ball tendencies, and does not throw quite as hard. Both pitchers are good, probably something that maybe only helps a tiny bit on the margins, but think Shazier is a little more well-suited for pitching in Colorado. So we will give him a chance to do just that in Game 5 if necessary. And as we head to the bottom of the second here, no score. Didn't mention what a interesting pitching matchup this is today. We've got Sincere Shazier on the mound, one of our top starters, going against Harlan Campeau, who has incredible stuff. His fastball, his sinker, and his cutter are all excellent. Also has an above-average changeup. Put up a 5.01 ERA this year for Colorado. I think part of that is pitching in Colorado. But he's been in the majors 3 years now and has a SIERA below 3 each season. So he is an excellent pitcher and going to be a great challenge for us here today. He allowed a walk in the first inning, but that was it. Hopefully we can get something off him, because I think runs are going to be hard to come by today. And unfortunately for our Buffalo Wings, the Rockies have 2 doubles here in the top of the third. They've taken a 1-0 lead. Steve Frazier just doubled in. Trey Snyder just doubled in. The catcher, Blake Mitchell, who led off with the first double. Snyder just hit the second. Steve Frazier now up with a runner on second and 1 out. Let's hope we can get out of this jam without much more damage. And it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Frazier drives it to right field. And a third double in a row. Well, not a third double in a row because there was 1 out in between, but a third double of this inning, and we are down 2-0 here in the top of the third. Shazier gets a strikeout for the second inning, now going up against the cleanup hitter, Jajam Alvarez. Led the National League with 45 homers this year, the only player who had more than our Shamar Jenneret. And he draws a walk. See if we can get the number 5 hitter, Anaranto Ortega, to get out of this inning without any more damage. And we do get a fly out to center field, but a 2 runs on 3 hits, all doubles, and Colorado's taken a 2-0 lead. We still don't have a hit. As I mentioned, I think runs are going to be hard to come by today, so hopefully Shazier can hold the Rockies from here, and we can start chipping back at this. And we've got the chance to make something happen with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Seifu led off with a single, moved to second on a ground out to Estrada, and then Bolig just walked. Actually, Seifu didn't lead off with a single. He got a single with 1 out. But 2 outs, Shamar Jenneret up with runners on first and second. This is our first and only chance this game. We'll see if Jenneret can do anything. And it looks like Jenneret does. An RBI single, Seifu scores, and we've cut the deficit in half to 2-1. See what Mike Heiner can do with 2 outs here in the bottom of the inning. He grounds it to third to end the inning, but Buffalo does get 1 run back, and we're continuing to hopefully build up the pitch count on Campo. And we had a 1-2 inning from Sincere Shazier in the top of the fourth. So Campo's thrown 58 pitches as we start the bottom of the fourth. If we're able to get a couple of hits and maybe draw a walk over these next couple of innings, not inconceivable that we could get him out of the game with just 5 innings pitched. If we get him out with 5 innings and we're only down by a run, would view that as I don't want to say a victory, but a decent result against an excellent pitcher. Hopefully if we can get into the Colorado bullpen, we can do some damage there. And we're facing a little pressure here in the top of the 5th to keep it to a 1-run deficit. 2 outs, but runners on the corners. Jejam Alvarez, the cleanup hitter, up. Huge at-bat here for Shazier. He's thrown just 72 pitches. Righty-on-righty matchup. We're going to stick with the starter. And looks like he will get us out of the inning with a fly out to right field. So we head to the bottom of the 5th. Colorado still up 2-1. And it was a relatively easy inning for Campo last inning. He's only at 70 pitches now, so he only threw 12 to get us out of the inning in the bottom of the 4th, unfortunately. And unfortunately, it was a 1-2-3 inning on the mound for Campo against our Buffalo Wings in the bottom of the 5th. So we're down 2-1 as we head to the top of the 6th. We've got 5 straight left-handed hitters coming up here. And Shazier, although he's thrown only 77 pitches, given up most of his damage in the 3rd inning and the 5th inning. So we're going to try to be a bit conservative, perhaps, and go right to Juan Veliz to hopefully take care of these left-handed hitters that he's facing. And I guess did I pick Wenzel? I thought I picked Veliz. Well, it's still a lefty in Wenzel. That was weird. I'll have to go back. You can look at this video and tell me if I'm imagining things or not. I thought I slid down Juan Veliz, but we're going with the lefty Wenzel, and we'll see how he does. Because I don't want to risk losing Wenzel now that he's in the game. And unfortunately, Wenzel's got himself into a bit of a jam here. Struck out the first batter, but then gave up a double to Walker Jenkins, followed by a walk to Nelson Rada. So at least we've got a force at first, second, or third with Blake Mitchell coming up in 1 out, 2-2 count to Mitchell. And he gives up a single. So bases are loaded here, so it seems like, I don't know if it was bad. It had to be bad clicking by me. I thought I had clicked on Veliz and brought him down, but Wenzel went into the game. Now we got bases loaded here with just 1 out. And Jim Harp flies out to center, but that's going to score a run, unfortunately. So the deficit up to 3-1. See if we can get out of the inning here. We're actually going to go back to the bullpen and go for the right-hander, Yohane Varejo. Hopefully get Trey Snyder and keep this deficit to just 1. or just 2, keep them to have scored only 1 run on the inning. And Vallejo does get the strikeout, so we get out of the 6th, but we give up another run. 3-1 Colorado as we head to the bottom of the 6th. And 81 pitches from Campo, so would love to get him out this inning. And unfortunately, it was a 1-2-3 inning for Campo in the bottom of the 6th, so we're now in the top of the 7th. Vallejo's gotten 2 outs, but there is a runner on first. We're back to facing 5 lefties in a row, so we're going to go back to the bullpen, and we are going to ensure that we bring in the lefty Juan Veliz now to hopefully get us through this next inning or two. Veliz with a runner on first, and the ball gets away from the catcher, and the runner moves to second. 1-2 count on Honorato Ortega here. And Veliz does get the strikeout. So we head to the 7th inning stretch. Colorado still up 3-1. And here in the bottom of the 7th, we did get a leadoff walk from Steve Anderson off of Campo, and then they promptly took him out of the game. So Ramiro Esquin, pretty solid reliever. Actually, he started in Albuquerque this year, but only pitched 4 2/3 innings in the majors for Colorado this year, but looks to be a solid reliever in the game, and we'd certainly rather be facing him than Campo. So hopefully we can put something together here in these final few innings, get the W in Game 1. And we do now have something going. Esquin got Gaglia out, but Marcelo Meyer just delivered a double that scored Anderson, who had that leadoff walk. Marcelo moved to third on the throw. So we've got 1 run back, and we've got a runner on third with 1 out. The catcher, Walt Miller, up, and then we'll be at the top of the order. Miller goes down swinging. Deshaun Seifu now up. Can he come through with a big 2-out hit? He's had excellent playoffs for us thus far, winning the MVP in the NLDS series. And Seifu does come through with a clutch single. And we've tied things up at 3 here in the bottom of the 7th. Juan Estrada now going after Ramiro Esquin. Could we get another big 2-out hit? Not to be the case here. 4-3 for the out, but we have tied things up at 3-3 here as we head to the top of the 8th inning. And here in the top of the 8th, they just got a 1-out stand-up double from Nelson Rada. So 1 out, a runner on second. We still got the lefty Veliz. They've got the lefties Mitchell and Arp as the next 2 batters. So hopefully Veliz can still get out of this mess. Strikes him out on a full count for the 2nd out of the inning. And now we are going after a pinch hitter now, Reagan Burford, hitting .375 this year. And we are going to go right back to the bullpen. And we are going to go with Isidro Ochoa. Started for us this year as our number 5 starter, the young right-hander. I think that he can hopefully give us a few innings if we need. Obviously, the hope is to score in either the 8th or the 9th and not have this be an extended game. But Ochoa certainly has the stamina where he could give us several innings out of the bullpen if we need. Right now, we're just looking at getting this 1 out, though, with the righty-on-righty matchup and a runner in scoring position. 1-2 count. And we get the grounder to third. 5-3. The inning's over. We head to the top of the 8th. Still tied 3-3. At the bottom of the 8th. And the Rockies have made a call to the bullpen, bring on the left-handed pitcher Mike Garul. We have Bobby Bolig, who's not particularly effective against left-handed pitchers. Hate to lose him, but we would love to get a run here to hopefully open this game up a bit. And we are going to go with a guy who could open up the game with 1 swing, and that is the young first baseman Arturo Flores. Don't know whether he'll stay in the game or not, but he certainly has excellent power, and we'll give him a shot to lead off here in the bottom of the 8th against Garul. And Flores does deliver a single, so we've got a runner on base here to start off the bottom of the 8th. Flores does not have a ton of speed, and we are not going to keep him in the game, most likely, because we could move Heiner to the outfield and then move Flores to first, but that would weaken our defense. So we are going to bring in a pinch runner, likely a guy who will stay in the game for us in Tyreek Hardage. So he would likely be coming into the game as a defensive substitute anyways. We're going to put the better speed on at first base. With the excellent arm of Blake Mitchell, we're not going to get aggressive running yet. We've got our 4, 5, and 6 hitters potentially coming up. Jenneret's the only one who will definitely be batting here, but we're going to give our offense a chance to hopefully get things going here. Full count to Jenneret, and Jenneret unfortunately flies out to right for the first out of the inning. Mike Heiner, we generally play him against left-handed pitching, so we are going to let him still have the opportunity here, and unfortunately he strikes out for the second out of the inning, 3 straight pitches. Now Steve Anderson is up. We could pinch hit for him with Tim Hull. It will weaken our defense a little bit. Anderson is hot. We're going to let Anderson swing away here. And he grounds out to first. So we waste the leadoff runner here in the bottom of the 8th, and the pressure back on us to hold Colorado down in the top of the 9th. And we did get a 1-2-3 inning from Ochoa in the top of the 9th, so we've got the bottom of the order here in the bottom of the 9th as we try to get a run across against Garul. Gaglia to lead things off. And he goes down swinging. Now Marcelo Meyer up. We are going to pinch hit with the righty Tim Hull, who can take over at second base for us. See if Hull can come through with a 1-out hit here for us. And Hull flies out to right for the second out of the inning. And now we've got Walt Miller, the catcher, up. And Miller pops that one up. So 1, 2, 3 innings for both teams in the 9th. And we are headed to extra innings, tied 3-3 here in Game 1 of the National League Championship Series. And Ochoa just got the first out at the top of the 10th, getting the dangerous Jajam Alvarez to pop out to first. We've got all the lefties coming up now. Ochoa's only thrown 18 pitches, though. We are going to give him a bit of a leash. If he gives up a hit, or we'll consider taking him out. If multiple base runners get on, we'll likely take him out. But we're going to try to coax a little more out of Ochoa here, despite the lefties coming up. And Ochoa did get a strikeout and a ground out to first with the next 2 batters for the second and third outs. So we head to the bottom of the 10th, and we've got the top of the order up here against the left-handed pitcher, Mike Garul. Deshaun Seifu leading off, 2-2 count. Seifu goes down looking. Juan Estrada up against the left-handed pitcher, and we are going to pinch hit for Mr. Estrada with Joe Edwards. Estrada just not that great against left-handed pitching, and Edwards can hit the ball out of the park. Edwards gives it a ride, and Edwards Joe Edwards with the pinch hit home run here in the bottom of the 10th delivers the Buffalo Wings to a comeback 4-3 victory over Colorado. So it was a tough game. We knew runs were going to be tough to come by and difficult to come by. Fell behind 3-1, but fortunately came back, and Edwards is the hero of Game 1 of the National League Championship Series with the walk-off home run in the bottom of the 10th. Moving on to a quick look of the box score. Shazier was fine, 2 earned runs over those 5 innings. Wenzel gave up the run with that poor clicking by me, but fortunately we did come back, and Varejo and Veliz gave us decent work out of the bullpen, and Ochoa ends up going 2 1/3 innings to get the W. So we did end up using 5 pitchers, while Colorado only used 3. But when all was said and done, we got the W, and that was what's most important. Only 7 hits for us today, 2 of them by Seifu, and then a bunch of guys who only had 1 hit. The big blow, of course, the game-winning pinch hit home run by Joe Edwards. Harlan Campeau, despite losing effort, was named player of the game. And we've got another potentially really great pitching matchup here in Game 2 of the series, although our Wings were number 1 in the National League in both runs scored and runs against, and we won 2 out of 3 games against Colorado this year, and we're 24 games better than them in the standings. Still think it's going to be a good challenge. Always interesting to play as a visitor in Colorado when we get there. And although they were 3rd in runs scored and 13th in runs against, you can probably attribute a lot of that to the park that they play in, particularly the 13th in runs against. We saw where Campeau in Game 1 was an excellent pitcher, and they're going to have Jamie Arnold, 31-year-old, who's a 2-time Gold Glove winner and a 1-time All-Star, above-average stuff, movement and control, 10-12 this year with a 3.88 ERA, but a 2.60 SIERA and an almost 6 WAR on the mound. Going against our 1A, Alexis Barajas, who, as we talked about, got pushed back to Game 2. Good pitching matchup, probably favors us on the margins, especially being at home, and hopefully we can make this one a little bit easier than Game 1 was, but I think that runs are once again going to be difficult to come by, so every decision matters. And after a strong top of the first from Alexis Barajas on the mound, our Buffalo Wings have something brewing here in the bottom of the first. Hardage hit a double, and then Shamar Jenneret just with a single that was not that deep. Hardage unable to score on it. But we've got runners on the corners with 1 out, and Arturo Flores up against the left-handed pitching Jamie Arnold. 2-0 count to Flores here, and Flores comes through with a single. So an RBI single for Flores, 1-0 lead. Still got 2 relatively slow runners on now, and Joe Edwards, last night's hero with the pinch hit homer, is in the lineup here today against the left-handed pitcher. We'll see if he can keep things going for us. 1-0 count to Edwards, and looks like that may be the second out of the inning. Flies out to center. And now Tim Hull up with 2 outs, runners on first and second. 1-2 count to Hull, and he pops it up to end the inning. So 1 run on 3 hits for Buffalo. Felt like it could have been more, but at least we've given our ace, Alexis Barajas, an early lead here in Game 2 of the 2035 NLCS. And we head to the bottom of the third, still with a 1-0 lead. Alexis Barajas is dealing for us. 7 strikeouts through the first 3 innings. Struck out the side twice so far, and he hasn't allowed a hit yet. He has hit a batter, and I believe he has also walked somebody, so certainly not a perfect game for him, but he is pitching very well for us, and hopefully we can get some runs off of Arnold here in the third, and would be nice to have a easy victory. Arnold's already thrown 34 pitches through the first couple of innings. We've got 4 hits off him, although we do only have that 1 run so far. And although Barajas struck out the first batter here in the top of the 4th, Jajam Alvarez just hit a home run down the right field line. First hit of the game for Colorado, so they are now knotted up with us 1-1, and we begin that 5 lefties in a row at the bottom of their lineup. Would think that the righty Barajas, who's been dealing today, will be able to handle that well, just his second time through the order. But definitely a bummer to have the game tied up with the way Barajas has been dealing today. And he just finished off the inning with another strikeout. I believe that was his 9th. But 1-1 tie as we head to the bottom of the 4th. And we just had a clutch hit from the veteran Jace Barofin here in the bottom of the 4th inning to extend the lead to 2-1. He just delivered a 2-out double that scored Joe Edwards, who had walked earlier in the inning. Barofin moved to 3rd on the throw. So we've gotten the lead back. We've got Andres Medina up with 2 outs and a runner on 3rd now. And Medina looks like that will end the inning with a fly out to center. But we get the lead back, 2-1 Buffalo, as we head to the top of the 5th. And Alexis Barajas continues to deal for us. Got through the top of the 5th, 1-2-3. Now has 11 strikeouts through 5 innings. And we've got the top of the order coming up against Jamie Arnold, who's thrown only 58 pitches now. Definitely settled down a bit. But we've got a bunch of righties coming up. Obviously only the one lefty in the lineup with Barofin. So hopefully 3rd time through the order we can start doing some more significant damage to Mr. Arnold. And here in the top of the 6th, Barajas in his first jam. He had given up that solo homer a couple of innings ago. Now he's given up back-to-back hits to Frazier and Meade, singles. So runners on 1st and 2nd, only 1 out. He's only thrown 78 pitches. He's got the righty Jajam Alvarez here. Probably give him the righty if he's able to get him. Might keep him in. If he gives up a hit here, we'll clearly go to a lefty in the bullpen. 2-0 count to Alvarez, and he pops that one up to the catcher. And although Barajas has been great with 11 strikeouts through 5 2/3 innings, with all these lefties coming up, we are not going to mess around. We are going to go to Juan Veliz, and we are inserting Veliz rather than Wenzel here. And they make the switch to go to the right-handed pitching Reagan Burford. 2-2 count to Burford here. And a grounder down to 3rd for the final out of the inning. So get out of the little bit of a jam, and we head to the bottom of the 6th. Buffalo 2, Colorado 1. And here in the top of the 7th, even though Veliz has struck out 2 batters for 2 outs, he's got himself into a bit of a jam here. He hit with a pitch one of their players who ended up getting injured, and they brought in Dave Creeth, and then he just walked Jace Young. So there's runners on 1st and 2nd with 2 outs, right-handed hitting Trey Snyder coming up. So we are going to make a call to the bullpen. Back to Mr. Varejo, the right-hander, who is very tough on right-handed hitters, and see if he can get us out of this little jam right here. And he struck him out. So we head to the 7th inning stretch in the bottom of the 7th. Buffalo still clinging to a 2-1 lead. Another tight game here in Game 2 of the NLCS. And we may finally have our opportunity to break things open here in the bottom of the 7th. Jamie Arnold's still on. He's gotten an out here, but he walked Jace Barofin, and Barofin just moved to 3rd on a single by the number 9 hitter Andres Medina. So we've got runners on the corners with 1 out for Deshaun Seifu. Arnold's thrown 91 pitches, had a good day for Colorado, as we suspected that he could. We're going to see what Seifu can do. Ooh, it looks like rain is beginning to fall. Seifu. Ugh. Well, he got the run in. Thought that could be a double play ball, but they go 4-6. But a ribby for Seifu as Verhoeven comes in, so we extend the lead to 3-1. See what Tyreek Cartage can do with 2 outs now against Arnold. The ball gets by the catcher. Seifu goes to second to get into scoring position. Would love a nice hit with a full count here by Hardage. And Hardage gives it a ride, but it's going to be easy for the center fielder to handle. So we do get a run and a 3-1 lead for Buffalo as we head to the top of the 8th, 6 outs away from potentially taking a 2-0 lead here in the NLCS. And we got a 1-2-3 inning on the mound for Yohane Vallejo in the top of the 8th, so the lead is still 3-1 as we head to the bottom of the 9th. Arnold's still in the game. We've got the big right-handers, Jenneret, Flores, and Edwards up 1-2-3. A little surprised they're not going to a right-handed reliever with Arnold at 100 pitches, but we'll see if maybe one of these right-handed batters can make him pay. And we could not make him pay. Arnold 3 up, 3 down, so he has pitched a potential complete game, but with a 3-1 lead as we head to the top of the 9th. We just need to get these final 3 outs. Righty, lefty, and a switch hitter coming up. So we are going to go to our closer here in Buffalo, Chris Staten. The right-hander comes on the mound. Hopefully can get to the final 3 outs for us of this game. They are pinch hitting now with the left-handed hitting Bo Naylor. Staten's done a good job for us since we picked him up in the trade before the trade deadline. And he strikes out Naylor for the first out of the inning. Now the left-handed hitting center fielder Walker Jenkins has 4 homers and 10 ribbies in the playoffs. Been very dangerous. Umpires calling a rain delay, 15-minute rain delay. Not what you want to see in the top of the 9th. Another strikeout for Staten, and we are 1 out away. Another switch hitter coming up, so another left-handed hitter that Staten will face in Dave Creeth. 1-2 count to Creeth, and Staten strikes out the side. Buffalo 3-1 winners, and we take a 2-0 lead here in the National League Championship Series. Ton of strikeouts for Buffalo today. Take a look. Barajas had 11 over 5 2/3, gets the W. 2 from Valise, 3 from Vallejo, and then Staten struck out the side. So 19 strikeouts by the Buffalo pitching staff today. Arnold does get the complete game. Bit of a tough luck loser, throws 108 pitches. Had a good performance, but Barajas and the Buffalo pitchers got the job done. Get a day off to get our excellent bullpen completely rested before we head to Colorado, and hopefully we can continue our winning ways in Denver. So our Buffalo Wings have headed to Colorado with a 2-0 lead. The minimum goal, of course, is to get 1 game in Colorado, head home with a 3-2 lead at the very least. We've got the lefty Juan Estrada, the two-way player, on the mound for us today. Does have ground ball tendencies and a bit above average move on his pitches, but he is a guy who can give up the home run. Coming off a really good year, though, 13-4, led the National League with a 2.69 ERA and a 2.68 BABIP. And he'll be going up against Ben Verzani. Right-handed starter, another guy with ground ball tendencies, throws pretty hard, pretty decent movement on his pitches for the 26-year-old. 9-10 this year, did allow a league-high 32 homers in 167 and two-thirds innings. Think some of that is likely the impact of playing in Colorado, but we will hope that we can take advantage of Verzani and continue our winning ways here in game number 3. And a rough start to the game for Buffalo. We went 1-2-3 in the top of the first, and Trey Snyder just led off the bottom of the first with a solo home run for Colorado. So they've got the first homer of the games in Colorado, and they've taken a 1-0 lead on Estrada and the Buffalo Wings. And the Rockies are mashing here. The cleanup hitter, Jajam Alvarez, just hit the second homer of the inning to left field to give them a 2-0 lead. Alvarez, as we've talked about, led the National League in homers this year. So 2 outs, but 2 homers allowed. And looks like Ortega with a grounder down the first base line that we were unable to handle. I think that should be a hit. Yeah, double. So we'll see if Estrada can get Nelson Arada here. And he does get him 4-3 for the final out of the inning. But 2 runs on 3 hits for Colorado. And Buffalo's down early here in game number 3. And our Buffalo Wings may have something going here in the top of the third. Deshaun Seifu doubled. And Tyreek Hardage now just reached on an error. So we've got runners on first and third with 1 out. The number 9 hitter, Walt Miller, started the inning with an out. But Bobby Bolig, who is very tough against right-handed pitching, up with runners on the corners and 1 out. And that ball got away from the catcher, but he's a pretty good defensive catcher, was able to handle it. So a 1-0 count now to Bolig. 1-2 count now. Bolig hits it out to center field. That should score Seifu. Closer than expected at the plate, but sacrifice fly by Bolig, and the run comes in from third. Now we've got Jenneret up with 2 outs, 1-1 count. Jenneret grounds it out too short to finish up the inning. But Buffalo does get 1 run back, trail 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the third. And unfortunately, we gave the run right back in the bottom of the inning. Colorado up 3-1 as we head to the top of the fourth. And we have gotten a run back here in the top of the first. It was all kind of a 2-out rally, so I never bothered kind of going into the action to show the details. But I'll go to the game log here to show you this kind of weird rally. Had Heiner hit by a pitch, then Steve Anderson grounded into a double play. Gaglia singled. Marcelo Meyer reached on an error, and then that single by Walt Miller ended up scoring Gaglia. So got a run back, runners on first and second now, and Deshaun Seifu up, hitting .417 for these playoffs so far. 0-1 count to Seifu, and looks like that will be it for the inning. So we do get a run back, but Colorado's still up 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the fourth. And we're still down 3-2 here in the top of the sixth, but we've got runners on the corners. Heiner and Gaglia have delivered a couple of singles here. 1 out for Marcelo Meyer. Verzani still on the mound for Colorado, and Meyer flies out to left, short left, so the run can't come in, so that was an unproductive out. Walt Miller up now, and we are going to pinch hit for Miller, given that we've got the excellent defensive catcher Andres Medina on the bench. We are going to go with Jace Barofin, the left-hander, as a pinch hitter here. Key spot in the game here with the runners on the corners and 2 outs. Want to maximize our chances of maybe getting a hit with Barofin. And the ball gets by the catcher, and the tying run comes in. So didn't need anything from Barofin there. Gaglia goes to second as Heiner scores. Now we'll see if Barofin can come up with a clutch hit with one runner still in scoring position. Full count to Barofin, and he goes down swinging. But we have tied things up 3-3 as we head to the bottom of the sixth. And unfortunately, we've blown it here in the bottom of the third. Just gave up a 3-run homer. Reagan Burford. We had just pulled Juan Estrada from the game for the lefty Matthew Wenzel. Estrada had walked the batter and then hit the batter by pitch, brought in the lefty for a lefty-on-lefty matchup. They pinch hit with Burford, the right-handed hitter, and he just delivered a 3-run home run off of Wenzel to probably break the game open for the Rockies, unfortunately. And with that 6-3 lead, as we head to the top of the seventh, the Rockies have finally gone to the bullpen. The right-hander Skylar Sanford on the mound. And Colorado got another run in the bottom of the seventh, so they're up 7-3 on us now. 6 outs away from losing this one. They brought on a left-handed reliever, Mike Garul. We will, guess we're not going to pinch hit for Heiner quite yet. We'll see how the inning goes, but not a great performance by either the manager or the team here in the first game in Colorado. And Heiner was able to leg out an infield single, so now we're going to pinch hit for the left-handed batting shortstop Steve Anderson with the right-handed hitting Tim Hull here. See if maybe we can get something going. Unfortunately, Hull strikes out. Gaglia now up with 1 out and a runner on first. Gaglia does get a hit to right field, so runners on first and second now with only 1 out. Marcelo Meyer coming up. Could weaken our defense ultimately by pinch hitting for Meyer here. We've got to score some runs. So we are actually going to do that. We're going to pinch hit Joe Edwards, the versatile infielder here. See if maybe we can find some more magic with Joe Edwards, who did have that pinch hit home run to walk off game number 1. 3-0 count to Edwards, and he walks to load the bases with 1 out for Andres Medina, the catcher. And the ball gets away from the catcher. All of the runners will advance. 1 run in for Buffalo. So now runners on second and third, still only 1 out here in the top of the 8th. 1-0 count to Medina, now a 1-1 count, and the ball gets away again. So these wild pitches are hurting Garul. Runner on third now, still only 1 out, 7-5 deficit. Medina now with a 2-2 count strikes out. And Seifu now up with a runner on third, 2 outs here. Seifu grounds it down to first for the final out of the inning. Buffalo does get 2 back, but we're still down 7-5 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. And with the deficit cut to 2, 7-5, Hayden Yinger had thrown 31 pitches, so we're bringing in Andrew Painter here in the bottom of the 8th to hopefully get 3 quick outs and then see if maybe we can find some magic in the top of the 9th. And unfortunately, Painter just gave up a leadoff home run to Trey Snyder, 381 feet to left field, so they've already gotten 1 run back on us, and our chances of victory seem to be slipping away. And 2 more straight run-scoring extra base hits here for Ortega and Rada have opened up a 10-5 lead for Colorado. At this point, we just don't want to burn anyone else in the bullpen, so we'll see if Painter can at some point mercifully get us out of this inning. It doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Another run in on a single there. Frazier goes to second. Ugly performance by the Buffalo Wings today, and we trail 11-5 going into the top of the ninth. And with 2 outs in the top of the ninth, Shamar Jenneret did just hit an opposite field solo home run, cut the deficit to 11-6. Likely to be too little too late. We'll see what Mike Heiner can do against Benton Kowalchuk. And Heiner pops it up. That should be the game. So 11-6 loss for Buffalo today here in Colorado. Colorado definitely took advantage of their home park. 2 home runs from Trey Snyder, Jajam Alvarez, and then Reagan Burford with the big pinch hit home run. We did get the solo shot from Jenneret there in the ninth, but it was too little too late. Rough outing from Estrada, and every one of our pitchers gave up runs. Wenzel, Yinger, and then Painter gave up 4 in his inning of work. I guess the only positive thing we can take from this is with Wenzel, Yinger, and Painter coming on in relief, we didn't use any of our top arms out of the bullpen, and hopefully we'll be fully rested and ready to bounce back in Game 4. In Game 4 today, we'll feature our number 4 starter, Jorge Carrillo, 14-6 this year with a 4.19 ERA, has not pitched yet in the playoffs, given that we swept the first round 3-0. Going against Ishmael Torres, left-handed pitcher for the Rockies, 24-year-old, 9-9 with a 3.92 ERA this year, but a 3.07 Sierra. Looks like he's going to be a pretty good one. So another tough pitching matchup. You look at the 4 pitchers we've faced from the Rockies, and that certainly doesn't look like a pitching staff that should be 13th in the league in runs against. So I think it is more a function of their ballpark than the quality of their starting pitchers. We'll see if we can turn around that disappointing performance yesterday and get a W here in Game 4. And the Rockies have taken a 1-0 lead on us here in the bottom of the second. Just got a 2-out single from Blake Mitchell to score the first run. We'll see if we can get out without any further damage. And it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. The number 9 hitter, Jim Arp, just hit a double that's going to clear the bases. So 2 more runs in. And we're once again down early to the Rockies on the road. 3-0 here in the bottom of the second. Jorge Carrillo finally gets mercifully the 3rd out of the inning. But once again down early in Colorado. The Rockies with 3 runs in the bottom of the second to take a 3-0 lead on our Buffalo Wings. And we'll see here in the top of the 4th if we can come up with a big 2-out hit from Joe Edwards. Tyreek Hardage doubled, just moved to 3rd on an infield single by Arturo Flores. So 2 outs, runners on the corners. Torres going after Joe Edwards. And Edwards draws the walk, as he often does, to load the bases for Tim Hull. Let's see if the shortstop can come through here. 0-1 count to Hull. And he gives that one a ride, but it's going to be tracked down by the center fielder. So no runs, 3 left on base for Buffalo here in the top of the 4th. And we've gotten 2 back here in the top of the 5th. A big 2-run home run by the number 9 hitter, catcher Andres Medina, comes through with a big home run to left field to cut the deficit to 3-2 for our Buffalo Wings. And we've more than given it all back here in the bottom of the 5th. Jajam Alvarez just hit a home run to blow this game open 6-2. The Rockies are just crushing us with their home run ability in this series. Jorge Carrillo, we were hoping he could get through those righties and Meade and Alvarez, but he could not. 79 pitches into the game now, and we will go to we will go to the lefty Matthew Wenzel here. See if he can hopefully get the left-handed hitter now to prevent any further damage. But Colorado's been hitting a lot of big home runs off of us, as you would expect they might do in their home park. We're hoping we'd be hitting a few home runs, but haven't gotten the clutch ones, at least here in Colorado thus far. Did have the one from Jenneret yesterday. 2-2 count, and Wenzel gets the batter. But we are now down 6-2 as we head to the top of the sixth here in Colorado. And Colorado went to the right-handed reliever Cody Bolton. We pinch hit for Flores with Heiner. He walked. Joe Edwards has now walked. So now we are pinch hitting for Tim Hull with the left-handed hitting Steve Anderson. Runners on first and second. One out here in the top of the sixth. 2-0 count to Anderson. And he flies out to center field for the second out of the inning. Gaglia up now with 2 away. And Gaglia looks like he's also going to fly out to center field. So it seemed like we might have something going there, but no such luck for our Buffalo Wings here in Colorado. And the massacre continues. The left-handed hitter Rada went opposite way off of the left-handed pitching Wenzel. 7-2 lead for the Rockies. Still got lefties coming up here, so we're going to try to have Wenzel at least get us out of the inning here. But this has been a rough performance today for our Buffalo Wings. Another ball blasted and another left-handed hitter going the opposite way for a home run in this inning off of our left-handed reliever. Number 7 and number 9 hitters in the Colorado lineup, both with solo home runs. And Wenzel just doesn't appear to have it today. We are going to go back to Painter, even though he wasn't good yesterday. Just want to try to hopefully save the bullpen for a game that matters at some point. I know there's no guarantees that we're going to have a game that matters here, but hopefully in game 5 we can potentially get things going in a better direction. And, you know, there's no guarantees that we can't do something in the final 3 innings here, but it's been an ugly performance today. Painter does end up getting 2 strikeouts to get out of the inning, but 8-2 Colorado as we head to the 7th. And Deshaun Seifu just delivered a 2-out triple for us. Probably going to be too little too late. We're not going to totally give up. We're going to pinch hit the left-handed hitting Bobby Bolig, who is very tough on righties, for Tyreek Hardage here. See if maybe he can knock one out of the park and cut the deficit back a bit. Actually, the ball gets by the catcher, so the run comes in 8-3. Still see if Bolig can maybe do something against Cody Bolton here. And he draws a walk. So runner on first now with Shamar Jenneret up. 0-2 count to Jenneret, and he strikes out to end the inning. So get one back, but we head to the 7th inning stretch down 8-3. And the massacre continues here in the bottom of the 7th. The right-handed hitting Jajam Alvarez just drilled a home run off of our right-handed pitching Andrew Painter. There was no reason after Painter got those 2 strikeouts in the bottom of the last inning and had only thrown, about a dozen pitches for us to not keep him in the game against the right-hander. But it's getting very ugly here in Colorado, and they are taking advantage of this ballpark and slamming a ton of home runs off of our pitching staff. Hey, it's going to be too little too late, but we finally got a home run. Mike Heiner with a likely meaningless leadoff home run here in the top of the 8th. Cuts the deficit to 9-4 off of the new reliever, Marco Jimenez. And we're heading to the bottom of the 9th, down 9-4. If we can string together some hits and some runs, we'll let you know, but likely to be reporting back that we have lost this game momentarily. And the game is over. We got a single from Seifu in the top of the ninth, but unable to really do much of anything. So another easy win for Colorado here in their home park. I guess the only positive thing we can say is that Painter did end up going 2 2/3 innings for us, so he saved the bullpen a little bit. But you look at the numbers for Carrillo in his first start of the postseason, Wenzel and Painter in the playoffs thus far, and not a shock to see why this series is now knotted at 2 games apiece. We will see if our decision to move up Sincere Shazier and have him pitch Game 5 in Colorado pays off in our next episode. But at this point, after we had a couple of hard-fought pitching duels that we won in Buffalo, the Rockies have totally battered us here in Colorado. We got the home run from Jenneret yesterday and Heiner today, but 4 home runs for Colorado yesterday, and we got 2 home runs today. They also had the shot from Medina, but 4 home runs from Colorado yesterday and 4 home runs from Colorado today. So they have out-homered us 8-3 thus far in the 2 games in Colorado. And clearly, if we continue giving up 4 home runs a game, we're going to have a tough time winning this series. So hopefully we can turn things around in Game 5 with a rematch of Game 1, Sincere Shazier against the excellent Harlan Campeau. And taking a look at the ALCS, Seattle is up 2-1 on the Texas Rangers. We'll sim ahead to tomorrow to see what happens in game number. I guess they haven't played game number 4 yet. Game number 4 will be today, same time, I guess, that we're playing against Colorado. But after a great start to the NLCS, things have gotten interesting here for the Buffalo Wings. And we'll find out how the rest of the series turns out in our next episode. Can we come back? Can we start generating some offense in Colorado? Or are the Rockies just going to continue to absolutely batter our pitching staff on their home field? We'll see if we can turn things around in the next episode. Until then, thanks so much for watching, and hope you have a great day.